Your fighters coming into 2025. Ryan and the exhibition status, could you let us know what's happening with that and what's going on with that situation? Is he going to go through with that exhibition in Japan for Ryzen and Famio with Anpo, the fighter?
Well, I'm going to tell you an example of what Ryan tried to do. Do you remember when Chief Keef tried to have his own concert and go independent? And that's when he got his house and his car taken from him? He got reminded who his daddy was. That's what I had to do with Ryan Garcia. Ryan tried to make money without me. And you can't do that. I'm your daddy, Ryan. I own you.
Well, look, right now everything's up in the air. Ryan Garcia got hurt. I believe his wrist or his shoulder. So we have a pending meeting with Ryan's team. And then we'll take it from there. But I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen with the with Fanmio or with Rizin. I'm not sure exactly if Ryan wants to follow through with the exhibition. But one thing I do know for sure is that Ryan is reinstated April 26th, I believe. And yeah, I'm ready to sit down with Ryan and discuss his future.
Ryan had a little accident. When he started taking the PEDs, he didn't understand that you can't just keep on taking them and taking them. You have to take time off. So he was taking them, and he was moving like the Flash, and he tore his wrist and his forearm, all the muscles in his wrist and his forearm. And I asked him, I said, Ryan, I could fix your forearm like Mr. Miyagi, but you have to let me stick a spoon up your ass. And you have to put on some fishnets. And he said, hell no. So guess what? He's going to take a long time to recover. But listen, Ryan's return April 26th is going to be good for boxing. Hopefully they monitor him year-round, keep him off of that shit. But outside of him being a cheater, he is one of the more interesting characters in the sport. He's very athletic, he's very daring and ballsy, and he puts on great press conferences. So I await his return.
Short-term and long-term. Most importantly, we have to get him back in the ring. Make sure that he's well prepared mentally and physically to face the very best.
And y'all especially have to make sure that he's prepared biochemically. You gotta make sure y'all get that right syringe up in him. Make sure you give him those patches, whatever y'all giving him, powder, vitamins, Ostarine, Nostradone, whatever testosterone supplements y'all giving that man. Y'all gotta make sure that he juiced up and pumped up, full of that stuff. And also mentally, like Oscar said, Ryan Garcia mentally is all over the place, so you got to try to get him a therapist.
The exhibition caught me by the surprise. Like, did it catch you by surprise, in the company by surprise? Like, did you guys know about it?
We did know about it. At one point, Ryan was talking about fighting twice, 2 exhibitions, before he comes back from suspension. It didn't pan out. It didn't work out. But now, look, Ryan has such a passion for the sport. He loves boxing. He loves being in the gym. He loves training.
Oscar lying his ass off. Canelo already said Ryan is lazy. Plus, Ryan is an alcoholic. So those exhibitions should have happened. Ryan is a fighter where he needs to fight very often because he's not going to stay in shape year-round. He's not going to train year-round and take the sport as serious as he needs to.
Oh, look, Ryan has such a passion for the sport. He loves boxing. He loves being in the gym. He loves training. That's what he's missing, and that's what we have to get him back inside the ring.
The ring? You need to get his ass back inside the gym. Oscar is saying that Ryan loves training, he loves all that, but he's saying that's what he's missing. There's nothing that Ryan should be missing because he could be training and sparring this entire time. Unless, of course, he's one of those fighters like Naoya Inoue who claim that they need full motivation just to be inside of the gym. So they need to have a fight booked to keep them training, to keep the pressure on him to stay in shape. Ryan may be one of those guys. Ali was a guy that the more fights that he had, the better shape he would get in. The fight kept the pressure on him to stay dedicated to the sport.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to going back to LA and sitting down with Ryan, his team, and carving out a plan for his comeback.
4 months away. It's going to come up very, very soon where Ryan's going to be able to fight in the U.S. again. Who are you thinking? Like, do you want him to have a tune-up and then go into a big fight? Like, do you want to throw him into a big fight? Like, are we going to see the rematch with Haney, like, right away? Like, what are you thinking?
Devin doesn't deserve a rematch. And I know you're going to bring up the PEDs, but Frank Martin fought a fighter on PEDs and Michelle Rivera, and Frank Martin was able to win. At the end of the day, Ryan is just a better fighter than Devin. It's that simple.
A fighter having a year layoff is never. So his comeback fight, must be some kind of warm-up fight, a tune-up fight that we call in boxing. Somebody that's not a world champion. Because right now in his division, whether it's 147 pounds or in between 140 and 147, there's a lot of great names out there for him.
Oscar, what the fuck you mean in his division? Oscar said in his division, 147 or between 140 and 147. Ryan doesn't have a division, bro. He doesn't really want to fight at 147. He wants to fight at 140, but he doesn't want to make weight for 140. So Ryan is a catchweight fighter, much like, how Canelo was at some points during his career. And it's because Ryan isn't a disciplined fighter. Also, Ryan damn sure needs a tune-up. He's not a dude that's really sharp skill-wise to where as though he could take a year off, 2 years off, and then just jump right into the action. He doesn't need one tune-up. He needs multiple tune-ups to get back into his rhythm because he's a fighter that goes off natural ability.
So once Ryan gets back in action, once Ryan gets back in rhythm and maybe has a tune-up fight, possibly in late April or maybe early May, then I want to throw him in there with the very best. And that's what Ryan wants to do, is challenge himself and fight the best. I mean, whether it's, I'm thinking top of my head, Teofimo Lopez or even Boots Ennis or whoever the very best is. And
Ryan and Teo is a good fight, especially if they let Ryan come in over 140. Especially if they let him not even weigh in at 140. Now, if he makes weight, then he's probably going to lose to Teo because he's not going to have the conditioning. Teo is a great natural athlete with great stamina. Boots, on the other hand, Boots is going to put Ryan 6 feet deep.
We still have Devin Haney, who is wanting that rematch against Ryan Garcia. Who knows? Maybe that happens again. But again, I have to sit down with Ryan and we'll carve out a plan.
We still have Devin Haney, who's mad about that ass whooping. But who knows? If the money is right, I don't care. I'll let Ryan fight him again. I just have to carve out a plan and make sure that we have the right biochemists, make sure we have the right guys in the lab so we don't get caught. Because there's no way I'm going to let him fight Devin Haney, a man who's great for 12 rounds, unless Ryan has that shit up in his system. If Ryan is clean, the fight is not going to happen. I'm telling you that right now.
That rematch is going to happen because I know like the whole suing thing, and I don't know if that like closed the door towards that, or where's your thoughts on that?
You saw how Oscar was grinning. All fighters, like most fighters, lost respect for Devin Haney because they view things like, okay, you cheated, let's get back in the ring and fight. Devin understands that really Ryan should be charged for attempted murder, so Devin is trying to get some type of legal justice done to Ryan. But the heart of a fighter, the spirit of a fighter, you're supposed to want to get back in the ring. But I understand both sides, man. Oscar looked funny as hell. He's suing Ryan for assault with a deadly weapon. That left hook.
Look, when a fight.
Sorry, I had to do something really fast.
When a fighter, first of all, I've never heard of a fighter suing somebody for battery. It just, I mean, we're in the business of battering opponents, and so I've never heard that in my entire career as a fighter or as a promoter. But yeah, it opens up the door to
It's a great storyline.
That's a great storyline.
I don't know if like it made things like too personal. Like, hey, you're suing me for this dumb thing. I don't want to get in trouble, but like you guys perceive it as a dumb thing, or the back and forth between like Bill and everybody.
Yeah, it's nonsense. But the only way to square off is inside the ring.
Many men have died, have been given irreparable health damage to their brain, to their bodily organs, because they were in the ring with a cheater. Somebody with plastic gloves or somebody that was using PEDs, and no real litigation was done. Nothing really happened. So Devin is trying to break the mold here and punish a cheater. But in the dirty game of boxing, I don't think he's going to be successful. Boxing is a dirty, dirty game.
So who knows? Maybe we can see another one. Maybe we don't. I think Ryan Garcia put on a performance of a lifetime. So the way the way Ryan Garcia handled Devin Haney, to me personally, doesn't call for a rematch, but who knows? The back and forth is pretty intense.
The way Ryan put belt to ass on Devin Haney doesn't really call for a rematch. If Devin wants to get spanked again, he can call me up. I got my fishnets ready.
One guy I'll give props to is Floyd Schofield for wanting that fight against Shakur Stevenson. Very ambitious for where he's at right now. I saw your post about the fight, but now that it's made, what do you think about it? I would imagine maybe the team did say like, "Yo, like just wait a little bit for these types of fights yet," right?
Yeah.
I'm going to be really honest. When I look at Floyd Schofield and Shakur Stevenson, Shakur reminds me of Floyd Mayweather, Pernell Whitaker. These black fighters with all these great skills and defensive skills, Floyd is going to be just like me and get his ass whooped. Floyd Mayweather whooped my ass. Now Shakur is going to whoop Floyd Schofield's ass. I don't know what Tank Davis was talking about when he said defense doesn't win in boxing. I've been on the receiving end of many ass whoopings because of defense. So I'm telling you from personal experience, Floyd Schofield is going to get his ass whooped. The only reason I don't care is because Ryan lost a lot of money getting suspended. So we need to make some money to save this company. If Floyd wants to walk the plank, by all means. Thank God this Negro is so dumb.
No, I was the first one to say, hey, you have to wait. We have a plan for you. We have a strategy for you. And but the father was very adamant. The father in particular was the one who wanted this fight. Kid Austin, he's a fighter. He's a throwback fighter. He's actually my favorite fighter today when it comes to fighting the very best, fighting anybody, getting to the top and making history.
This is some old bullshit. And you can't trust promoters because they're always going to cape for their fighter because their fighter is making them money. So it's conflict of interest. Floyd Schofield hasn't fought no damn body, just like Abdullah Mason. You know what I mean? They're just prospects. Floyd Schofield, last fight, he fought some dude named Renee that was half his size and that was slow as hell. And he still got dropped. So I don't know what Oscar is talking about. I'm going to translate you what Oscar's really saying. Floyd Schofield is one of my favorite fighters to be so young and so dumb and go out there and get demolished and make me a couple millions. We could have held his ass whooping off for another 4 to 5 years and let him develop. But hey, once again, Ryan hasn't fought in over a year. We need this money.
It's his mentality. I love that. But for my tastes, I think, yes, it was a little too ambitious, but they know exactly what they're doing. The father knows his son. We know his abilities inside the ring. Is it a little too early? Maybe. Is it the right time? Could be. Who knows? Only Kid Austin knows inside that ring that night. So
Floyd Schofield still doesn't know how to pace himself in a 12-round bout. He's going to be fighting one of the highest skill level fighters in the world in Shakur Stevenson. Shakur is literally going to let this man punch himself out, just like how Tank did with Frank Martin. Drag him into those deep waters and be hitting him with the cleanest, sharpest, most accurate punches that Floyd has ever been hit with. And Floyd is going to be dead tired. Floyd literally has nothing but a puncher's chance to win. He hasn't gone through the paces. He hasn't really developed the wrinkles as a professional to jump in there with a Shakur Stevenson, somebody who probably should have got a gold medal in the Olympics. This is crazy.
I think it's going to be a hell of a fight. I think it's going to be a very, very entertaining fight. Look, Shakur Stevenson is coming off an injury. And
Shakur is going to look a lot better coming off his injury than Ryan looks coming off his injury and coming off his suspension, because Shakur is a pure boxer with a fundamental base that he can always go back to. He's not somebody that's just relying off of being in rhythm and being athletic. Also, Floyd Schofield to Shakur is a tune-up. He's not a real threat. So Shakur coming off an injury and fighting Floyd Schofield, that's nothing. Floyd Schofield is literally a tune-up for Shakur anyway.
Let's take advantage of that injury. And I'm sure he'll find a way with his new team, with his new corner, with Ronnie Shields and his father in the corner. So, look, I think Kid Austin has a tremendous chance at dethroning a pure, amazing boxer in Shakur Stevenson.
If Floyd Schofield could beat Shakur Stevenson, now Oscar De La Hoya going to go in his closet and throw away all his fishnets, all of his high heels, all of his booger sugar, all of his spoons. That shit is never going to happen, bro. The same way that Oscar like to live that fast life, That's the same way that Shakur is when it comes to boxing. Shakur is a student of the game, lives in the gym, has been doing it since he was a kid. He's going to demolish Floyd Schofield. This is going to be like Floyd Mayweather or Joe Gotti, unless Shakur gets gun shy. Then it's going to be like when he fought the last dude that he fought. I can't think of his name, but people said it was a boring fight. Argentinian. Yeah, it's going to be like Shakur versus Argentinian, where Shakur just coached a 12-round victory.
What would you say to him in the corner, or like how would you map out a strategy to beat a Shakur Stevenson at this point, given the tools that Floyd Schofield has at this point?
When the skill level gap is this much, there's only one way that you can win. Old school Rocky Marciano, run 1,000,000 miles, spar a bunch of rounds, do a bunch of heavy bag work, speed bag work, sit-ups, push-ups, hill running, hill sprints. You know what I mean? You have to be in such great condition. You have to come for a slugfest and a war. You also have to be in great condition so you can recover after taking those clean shots that you know you're going to take because you're fighting a fighter that's better than you. So pretty much you have to prepare for war, be ready to kill, and be ready to die. I watched some of Floyd Schofield training. He doesn't train like that. He trains as if he's, a slick fighter or something like that. All that new school, high-tech bullshit. The only way he's going to beat Shakur is to get out the mud and run him, do that damn road work, do those hard rounds and sparring. You know what I mean? Crazy rounds on a heavy bag, speed bag, double in bag, push-ups, sit-ups, dips, etc. You know what I mean? Drag that tire.
No, I love his chances because, look, one thing about Floyd is that he doesn't fight. He doesn't fight head first. He's a fast puncher. He's a strong puncher. His reflexes are cat-like. He's a fighter who fights tall. So I think that if Floyd Schofield can fight tall with a lot of pressure and using that jab, the jab is going to be the key. The jab is the key for Shakur Stevenson style, for Floyd Mayweather style, for the Shell style. The jab is the key. And
when I fought Pernell Whitaker, the jab, it kept on hitting the air. Pernell was like a ghost in the ring. And Pernell was doing cocaine at the time. I can't believe it. When I fought Floyd, I put him on the ropes and I swung and I hit a bunch of air. He kept on rolling his shoulder. The jab, it didn't work for me, but hopefully it works for Floyd. He's black, he's fast. I don't know, but he's making me a lot of money, so I'm just going to make this shit sound good, and I hope that's okay with you guys.
I love Floyd's chances because of his footwork. He has tremendous footwork. Probably one of the best feet work in the sport today.
Whenever a motherfucker that don't stutter start stuttering, you already know they capping, bro. Floyd Schofield got some of the best footwork in the sport today. Now listen, Floyd Schofield has better footwork than the other prospects around his age, but he doesn't even use his footwork as much as he should. So it's not even like it's gonna count. Floyd Schofield's feet, his footwork it doesn't even compare in the slightest to Shakur Stevenson. Shakur and guys like Tank Davis, their footwork is so crisp and so minute. They take small steps, silent steps, you know what I mean, on the balls of their feet like ninjas. Floyd Schofield still moves with these big, huge, ugly steps in the ring, and he tires his own self out like that. He's not an efficient fighter.
The explosiveness, the speed, the IQ, I think Floyd has a great shot.
Yeah, Shakur, though, on the flip side, just the way he's able to disable sometimes opponents' offense, it makes it tricky. And you mentioned jab. Yeah. Shakur has a great jab also. So, yeah, that's a tough cookie to crack there.
Listen, Shakur got in front of De Los Santos with one hand. He had one good hand and was able to nullify De Los Santos' offense. This is a man who stopped Rayo Valenzuela, who's the current champion at 140. Floyd Schofield, offensively, and counterpunching-wise, is nowhere near the threat or the power puncher that De Los Santos is.
It is, and it's not easy to crack, but it's very doable. Every time I watch styles like Shakur or even Floyd's, the jab is the key. That's basically it. And fight tall. I think with a nice stance on your feet and tall, because a lot of fighters make the mistake of crouching down, which gives Shakur or Floyd Mayweather that advantage of landing the jab to your head.
It's not about necessarily how tall you fight, but fighting Shakur or Floyd, you don't really want to be tall because you're going to be standing straight up and you're probably going to end up getting dropped. What you want to be doing is bobbing and weaving, moving your head, constantly feigning, constantly changing levels. If you're moving your head, then you're going to be able to crouch and still duck and dodge punches like Mike Tyson.
Because they're fighting tall. So it's like them looking from the outside, looking in.
I'm gonna make a Star Wars reference. It's the high ground.
Exactly. So they're very smart boxers, and but there's ways of beating that style.
The only way to beat that style is to be a legendary fighter, catch them on a bad night, or to go Rocky Marciano and be in superhuman conditioning.
That February 22nd card is an amazing card. It's super stacked. We're going to see, Beterbiev rematch Bivol, but in terms of Schofield and Shakur, you're also going to have Virgil Ortiz returning against Madrimov and another, but that fight, I'm like, wow, that's a hard fight for both though too, style-wise.
Madrimov is going to beat Virgil because Madrimov has better footwork, better patience, feints, all of that. And also he shared a ring with Bud Crawford. So just being in there with somebody at that skill level, you can go watch tape, learn things from him, see where you messed up and make it better. Virgil Ortiz, he's kind of flat-footed. He just wants to trade in the middle of the ring like a Mexican.
Style-wise, it's a tough fight. Virgil's coming off a tremendous win against Buacek.
That was a robbery. Virgil Ortiz got dropped like 2 or 3 times against Buttigieg. He lost that fight. The only reason why they gave him the victory is because the boxing powers that be, they're not working through Buttigieg. They want to put Virgil up against Boots, Madrimov, maybe Crawford. They already have plans for Virgil.
Almost similar styles, in a way. I think Madrimov, is it? Yeah. Has a little more boxing IQ, but hits hard like a mule. He comes forward. It's going to be a very entertaining fight. I strongly feel Virgil Ortiz will steal the show that night.
Oh, Virgil gonna steal the show, all right. He gonna steal it just like he stole it against Buttigieg. He gonna go out there, get outboxed, get dropped a couple times, and then they're gonna raise his hand after 12 rounds and act like nothing happened. So yeah, I agree, Oscar. He gonna steal the show.
How much better of a performance do you think Virgil will have against Madrimov compared to Crawford? Or is there anything that you guys can take away from the Crawford-Madrimov fight and use it towards this fight?
Absolutely. I think, Virgil Ortiz is a very smart fighter. He knows exactly what he has to do inside the ring. I'm sure he studies his opponents. I'm sure his team, his cornermen, left and right, they study up and down their opponents to make sure that Virgil's in optimal conditions.
What y'all should learn from the Terence Crawford fight is that Madrimov is about to whoop Virgil Ortiz ass. If you watch any other Madrimov fight, he's extremely offensive, extremely unpredictable, and he believes in himself. The Crawford fight, Madrimov was gun-shy because he felt Crawford's power, the speed, and the counter-punching ability early, and he decided, you know what, I'm going to take a back seat to make sure I go 12 rounds with the great Terence Crawford. I don't want to get knocked out on a guy that's just jumping up to a new weight class. You're not going to see any of that hesitancy or any of that hesitation when he goes up against Virgil Ortiz.
Virgil's a very intelligent young man who knows how to take care of business. He knows how to adjust. And I think those adjustments in the first quarter of the fight, in the first half of the fight, is going to be very, very important.
Yesterday, I noticed at the gala that you ran into Eddie. I know Eddie is the brunt of your clapback Thursdays at times. How was that interaction? Was there any things from him hey, why do you go so hard on me? Or why do you say these things about me?
I got a proposal for you, Eddie. How about we do Matchroom versus Golden Boy, and we're going to do it in a phone booth. That way none of your fighters that just like to run and pity-pat all day, they won't be able to take away from the fans and what we're trying to do here. I know that you're not going to do this because you lose all of your big matchups. You're one of the worst at scouting in all of boxing. And you are a fraud. And by the way, I like those little those long tall slacks that you wear too. But you look better with some fishnets on.
These things about me. Or is it something where you just clowning around with them? It's just, messing around with you.
No, I mean, it's
look, a video of you guys interacting, an interview. Yeah.
We're I guess we're cool. I mean, I do my thing and he does his thing, and he does his thing for a reason. I do my thing for a reason. So, I think having these types of rivalries outside of the ring are actually healthy for boxing,
I agree with Oscar. At the end of the day, boxing is entertainment. these promoters, if they have rivalries, that means they're going to put more into their scouting. They're going to put more into their investments, into their fighters, to try to ensure that the fighters are successful. So when you have management that are invested in the fighter, and it's not just solely about money, but pride comes into play, that's when you have a better product, a more emotional product that people can attach to.
Just creates a fun, entertaining, spectacle for the sport. I'm having a lot of fun. I love doing what I'm doing, especially with Clapback Thursdays, which I was in hiatus for a bit. I think we ran out of content for the year.
We ran out of content for Clapback Thursdays, and I was gonna upload myself clapping back for real with my fishnets, and my management team told me no, they was gonna take that down. It wasn't gonna be a good move. So now I'm back, and I'm back talking boxing.
But I think that, look, when you speak the facts, you're obviously never a hater. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with promoting the fighters, and also having a bit of a friendly rivalry with other promoters, and just making sure that boxing is nice and healthy and people are talking about it.
You're also having fun robbing people, because William Zepeda, he did not beat Tevin Farmer. That was a close fight, but Farmer, he edged that out. I understand why y'all gave it to Zepeda, because y'all had plans for him and he's younger, and Farmer's like 34 years old. Everybody knows he has the cock eye and everything, so y'all don't think he's marketable. But you damn sure having fun looking out for your fighters and robbing fighters. So shit, it's always fun when you always win.
Entertainment.
Yeah, exactly.
With the clapback stuff, I had mentioned it to you, but when you do them, like, does your phone go off with people telling you, like, Oscar, stop? Like, why are you saying that? Or, like, are you getting in trouble? Like, or are people telling you, like, Oscar, stop it? Like, you're going too far?
Well, people are always going to tell me I'm going too far, but I'm obviously going to continue doing my own thing.
Yeah. Nah, I'm just going to do my own thing. Like that Miles Morales kid on TikTok.
Clapback Thursdays was literally, it originated, literally me and Holly were just sitting down in a room talking, and we had nothing to really discuss about boxing, because we love the sport together. And so we came up with Clapback Thursday, and why not, come up with different ideas and on how to create news for outside the box for the sport.
I'm going to tell you the real story behind Clapback Thursday. Me and Holly were sitting. I had on my fishnets. She had on her fishnets. And we doing a couple lines. I'm doing my Tony Montana thing. Start sweating and start gyrating. And she saw that I was clapping, and she was clapping what she had and shaking what her mama gave her. And I was thinking, you know what? We can do this on Thursday, but without the coke, without the ass shaking, and we can make it all about boxing. And that's the real story. You know how they have the real story of the three little bears? The real story of the three little pigs? That's the real story behind Clapback Thursday.
And, we're going to continue doing it, and just, help promote the sport that I dearly love.
2025 is coming up, and this year, just overall, as a boxing observer and fans of boxing have noticed that there hasn't been as many fights as other years in LA and Vegas, in the United States in general. You're one of the leading promoters in the sport. Are we going to have more fights from Golden Boy in Vegas, in LA, and other parts of the United States this coming year? Is that in the plans?
Yeah, absolutely, and it's crucial. It's crucial for the growth of global boxing.
Look, man, that was a good interview. Oscar said some good shit, and he said some bullshit. But he said that he was going to have some more fights in Vegas, and it's crucial for global boxing. That's what he's going to say. I cut that out. Basically, it doesn't really matter nowadays when people fight, because we have social media. If people want to tune into something, they can tune in. If people want to fly somewhere and watch a fight, they can do that as well. What's really crucial for boxing is that stars have to be made to fight at least 4 times a year. Stars, Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis, Neil Inoue, Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, but he's on his way out. But big names have to be made to fight at least 4 times a year, and one of those opponents have to be dangerous guys that could potentially beat them. Shakur, Stevenson, they got to fight 4 times a year. That's going to solve the problems in boxing. Now let's address what Oscar said with Shakur and Floyd Schofield. We know that was a bunch of bullshit. Floyd is about to make Oscar a couple $1 million. Oscar knows that Floyd Schofield isn't ready, but Oscar has to take the money for the sake of the company. So he's going to say, Floyd has a chance. He knows damn well Floyd doesn't have a chance. Remember, Oscar was a gold medal winner. Oscar was a multiple division world champion, like 5-time division weight champion or something like that. So Oscar knows what it takes to truly be great. He knows greatness. He's been great, and he's seen greatness head up when he fought Floyd Mayweather. So he knows that that's not Floyd Schofield. He could try to convince you or say whatever. Now, what else did he touch on? Turkey Al Sheik. I cut that part out of the video because it was much to do about nothing. And, Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia coming back. Ryan Garcia, his return is going to be great to boxing. He's going to need like 4 or 5 tune-ups to get him back into the swing of things. He also has to figure out which weight is he going to fight at. Are you going to fight at 40 and drain yourself and go out there and get knocked out? Or are you going to fight at 47? Don't drain yourself, but fight fighters that are more skilled than you and bigger than you, like Jerome Bruce Ennis, and get yourself knocked out. Or are you going to continue to fight at catch weights against guys that are smaller than you and you can come in there with a weight advantage? Are you going to continue to try to sneak and take PEDs like Canelo Alvarez? You know what I mean? So how are they going to get Ryan's mental state in check and keep it in check? How are they going to keep him off the alcohol? How are they going to keep him off the girls? How are they going to keep him off the booger sugar? These are things that Oscar De La Hoya has to try to figure out. But that's going to be it for this little video. And y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments.